What's up, everybody? We're here for another episode of The Endzone. It's your boy, Craig.
Your boy, Ace.
And we're here for another week to give you the lowdown and the insight. We're gonna jump right into it and give you some of the updates that have been happening in the NFL today. Some of the ones that we care most about. And the one I care most about, it just actually happened today, is N'Keal Harry signs his rookie deal with the New England Patriots, $10 million over 4 years with a $5 million signing bonus. And that's a good deal right there. He got his money.
He definitely got his money, and it wasn't too much or too little, so I think that's good.
I think it's a fair deal, yeah. I think that they paid him what I think he'll end up being worth for a rookie deal. I think he's actually gonna show us more than what his contract is. When you're playing for the Patriots, I think it adds an extra, damn, I gotta come in and prove myself because this team is that team.
Yeah.
So you can't come in and be no slouch. So I think he's gonna take this as them putting their trust and their investment in him, and I think he'll show out for us.
I think he'd be okay.
I love this kid, man. I think he got them hands. So, all right, well, that's N'Keal Harry, and I'm excited to see what he does. But then the Seattle Seahawks make a good move. They traded away Clark, and they needed to replace him. And they went ahead and they signed Ezekiel Ziggy Ansah. And I think I like this move. I know that right now he's dealing with an injury. They're saying that he might miss some training camp, possibility maybe even a week or two into the regular season, but I do think he's a productive edge rusher.
I think he's productive, but it's just like, I don't know what Seattle's doing over there. Like, I'm just lost for the cause with Seattle, man.
I am lost too.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Seattle seems like a team that's just like struggling to find their identity. And, even though I like that they signed DK Metcalf, they got him in a good position. Yep. But I don't see what they're doing that's making their team much of a threat,
Yeah, and a lot of moves that they're making, you would say, hey, this guy makes their team better, but the moves that they're making, you're not saying that to yourself. You're just like, oh, that's just another body. You know what I'm saying? More so like they're making
it's not a bad
better.
move, but it's not. You're not turning your team into like this threat. Nobody. I don't think anybody's going to be too worried about playing Seattle. I mean, you always have to worry when Russell Wilson's got the ball in his hand, but I mean, DK Metcalf's a rookie, so I find it hard to be too worried about a rookie wide receiver.
Absolutely.
And then the next wide receiver is their second-year wide receiver, that kid Moore.
Yep.
And I mean, that's not that dangerous either.
No.
So, and DK Metcalf's a one-trick pony. If you put a shutdown corner on him, and it doesn't have to be a high-level shutdown corner.
It could just be a shutdown corner.
A shutdown corner. Like a guy who's really good.
Yes.
Yeah. To keep him off that one trick. And I
was actually watching a YouTube video of DK, what was it, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
And it was him doing his mini camp for Seattle, and they was doing like sideline catches. He made a catch. Then the next 3 or 4 people dropped it. I'm like, what's going on here? They were so records like terrible. How you got 4 professionals go up to catch a ball and only one catch of it and they all drop it? I'm like, yo, this is terrible. It was a good drill though, but it was just like terrible hands. I'm like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Seattle seems like maybe they're just saying, hey, we're paying Russell this year, and then next year we're going to build. I don't know. Or maybe they got some tricks up their sleeve with people that they plan on signing before they get into real training. I don't know, but it's definitely not looking like a threat in Seattle. But like I said, it was more about the Ezekiel Ansah, and I think I like that pickup. I think he can really add that edge rusher position and he's not going to make up for Clark, but it will, it will soften the blow. Next, back to the New England Patriots, we got 2 signings. First is one that I actually really like. A lot of people might think I'm crazy, but we signed Dontrell Inman, and I'm super excited about that. When Dontrell Inman was on the Chargers, he was a fantasy beast. He can run his routes and he can get open and he's fast. And I think anybody who comes to the Patriots who once was really good, they return to that.
Absolutely agree with you. Inman, he's just a guy that he can get in an open field and make plays happen. Yeah. So therefore, it's like and you also got one of the greatest quarterbacks ever throwing you the rock. So that makes it simple for you. So now it's like, now it's about learning the Patriots way for him. And once he learns that Patriots way, I think he could do big things for the Patriots.
Exactly. And like I said, I've liked this guy for a while. I think he got a bad run when he went to the Bears. I don't think they utilized him correctly. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just doesn't have it in him anymore. But I think we're gonna find out what he really has, because if you have something left in the tank, the Patriots are gonna squeeze every bit of juice out of it.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to see that. And then I don't think he's signed yet, but I know that we're in the talks, and it looks like we're gonna sign Benjamin Watson. He's returning home. And I don't think this is exciting necessarily, but we need that tight end help, and I think Benjamin Watson definitely does have some gas left in the tank, and I think that we're going to be able to utilize that really well.
Absolutely. Like he knows the Patriots way. He's been at Patriots for a long time. He's a great blocker. He has for sure hands, so it's just like getting him back immune to the system. I think he could do fine. Like, you know, it's not much that he has to do there. It's like, but the trick is like, Patriots fans out there who's listening and who's watching, you just can't start comparing him to Gronk off the rip, and you want him to do Gronk-like things, because that's not his style of football.
Nope.
His style of football is completely different from what Gronk brought to the table. So don't sit here and try to think, oh, let me get Benjamin Watson and he's going to be the next Gronk or do what Gronk does. That's not going to happen. Benjamin Watson is a whole different player than Gronk was. So it's like you got to take the good with the bad.
And nobody can really do what Gronk does. That's why Gronk was Gronk. You know what I'm saying? You could never have that expectation. And I like the fact that, you know, it's not just going to be on Watson. We do have Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who I actually like more than I like Watson.
We love that guy. Man.
I do, man.
You mention that guy all the time.
All the time. When he was on the Jets, man, and on the Jets with Josh McCown as his quarterback, he was a high-level tight end on that team. He was doing his job. You know, it wasn't like he was this big breakout star, but he did his job. He was a lot better on the Jets than he was in Tampa Bay. And I think the better the system, the better he's going to get. And I think on the Patriots, he's going to be the closest thing we're going to get to a Gronk. But we'll see what happens. And to keep in faith with this tight end conversation, I'm going to move on to the person I'm hoping ends up becoming a Patriot, and that's Kyle Rudolph. So there's been a lot of talk about the possibility of Minnesota making a huge mistake and trading away Kyle Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph, to me, is probably top 10 tight end. I don't even think that's really a matter of a question. You might feel differently, but I think he's a top 10 tight end.
In the league right now?
In the league right now. Not of all time, nowhere close.
Yeah.
But in the league right now, top 10 tight end. And if they trade him away, you're going to have a lot of teams that are going to go after him. My personal favorite is always going to be the Patriots with a player like this, but I also think Miami could utilize his help.
Absolutely. I don't think, but someone like Kyle Rudolph, why would you give him up? You get what I'm saying? Like, you gotta sit down and negotiate that contract, and you gotta keep him to stay, because it's like you get rid of him and you send him elsewhere.
Yeah,
he still got years left in that tank.
He does.
He can make things happen, and then you're gonna be scratching your head in the next 2 or 3 years. Like, why did I give him up?
And I understand they drafted Irv Smith Jr. And I get that that kid looks good. I said I wanted him. He reminds me of like O.J. Howard or David Njoku, but you know, this is what we talked about before. How many rookie tight ends come out and just do big things? I think that Kyle Rudolph is the red zone safety blanket for Kirk Cousins, and I don't like the idea of them making this trade, but if they do, some team is going to make off really well.
Make off big, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't imagine them getting a high-level draft pick for him. Like, what are you going to get, like a 4th round? Maybe a 3rd? Maybe. You're not getting no 2nd and no 1st,
No.
but I'm going to say most likely it's going to be a 4th or a 5th round pick, maybe even a combo pick, 2 picks late in the draft, but
with the right team, you might be able to get a 1st round pick,
yeah,
1st or 2nd round pick, because he's no slouch. Because we're sitting here saying he's top 10 in the league, so it's kind of like,
yeah,
You know, a lot of other GMs is probably thinking the same thing. Like,
Yeah. A team like Miami might give up a second round. I could see Miami because Miami has no tight end that you can really talk about right now. So the addition of Kyle Rudolph for them might be worth, I think, a second round draft pick. And their second round draft pick is probably going to be in the top half of the draft. So I think that would be probably the best fit for trade value and receiving a pick. So I don't know. I think that makes the most sense. So now we're gonna move on to talk about a player who is moving on from the NFL, and for that, I pass the mic on to my boy Ace.
So the player that we're gonna talk about here for a couple minutes is my guy Doug Baldwin. I'm gonna miss him. I thought he was a good receiver. Yeah. I wouldn't say great, but I would say he was good. He was good enough to get the job done.
Exactly.
He came out of college as an undrafted, in 2011 as an undrafted guy from Stanford. He played under Jim Harbaugh as a coach in college. So
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jim
wow.
Harbaugh was his coach in college.
Wow,
Yeah.
all right. I like that.
And in college, he had 44 career games where he had 96 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 13 TDs. That's not crazy stats, but that's
which is why he was an undrafted free agent.
Which is why he was an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about he goes into Seattle as a Seattle Seahawk. He had 493 catches for 6,593 yards and 49 touchdowns, which made him top 3 in the franchise. That's big.
That is big.
Coming from a guy who was an undrafted rookie, and then he goes into Seattle and make numbers happen. Not to mention in the Super Bowl, he had 5 catches, 66 yards, and a TD when they actually won the Super Bowl.
Nice.
So you got to give him credit for that. But the thing that I'm like going back and forth on is Seattle terminated his contract due to he failed a physical. We all knew that he was struggling with injuries. He had a sports hernia. Yep. He had busted groin, busted shoulder. Like, I understand all those things, but it's kind of like, give a guy a chance. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like they could have just said, hey, like, maybe thrown him on the injury reserve or something. I feel like there's a way they could have kept him on the team, not forced him into retirement, and just let him get healthy. Because, I mean, he did do work for them.
He definitely did.
He put in work, and to come in as an undrafted free agent and to become a household name. Because at the end of the day, if you know football, you know Doug Baldwin. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be an avid fan to know that name.
And the crazy thing is, like, he was, like you said, undrafted. He went to the Super Bowl twice. They won twice. Won it once. Lost to the Patriots the other time. And then, not to mention, like, he was a 2-time, he made the Pro Bowl twice.
Oh,
so it's kind of like, in those sense of things, like, and not to mention, I think it was like, I got it written down here, like 2013 or 14, he led the NFL in touchdowns.
Really?
So, yeah. So it's kind of like, so those things right there don't go without notice. So for me, as a coach or a GM, and knowing the young, like we just talked about, knowing the young guys that you have, like DK and those guys, I'm still going to keep this guy around to probably like more so tutor these guys along the way to get them ready for the season. But right now, I feel as though like their receiver core is not that good. He could have, I'm not saying he would have made them great this year, but at the end of the day, he could have tutored these guys to be a little bit better than what they are. Like,
and that's a good tutor to have, a guy who came from the, kind of the lowest entry you can have into the NFL. Came right from the bottom to then end up being a leading scorer for a season. That's a huge jump, and that's very impressive. One of the things I liked, is, Doug Baldwin kind of replaced Golden Tate when Golden Tate went to the Lions. And it was kind of like a similar situation for, because when I think about it, I think about Wes Welker to Julian Edelman.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So Wes Welker was our premier receiver. Golden Tate was their premier receiver. And both of them played in the slot position. And then when they go away, this guy has to step in. And for a fan base, this guy's stepping into a guy's position who was really good at it. So there's like this weight on your shoulder that you have to, he had to live up to Golden Tate the same way Edelman had to live up to Wes Welker, and both guys lived up to it. And I really liked what Baldwin did for this team. He played full on every time.
And if you notice, a lot of times Russ is gonna miss that because there's a lot of times where Russ was like sacked in the backfield or he was dancing around, going on the run, chucking the ball 30, 40 yards down the field, and who's there? Doug Baldwin with a catch. You get what I'm saying? So these guys that's receivers now, like DK and the other guys that's there, they're gonna have to learn how to extend plays because that's what Doug Baldwin was good at. He never gave up on his route. He always knew that, okay, Russell might not be sacked, but let me extend this play.
Yeah.
And you know, you always got to go back to Twitter and all that stuff like that. What's going on is like they're mad at him for not giving Russell credit. It's like he didn't come into the league with Russell his quarterback.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like he saw Russell get this big contract that kind of like pushed him out. So it's like at the end of the day, would you give a guy credit who kind of, you know, got you pushed out?
Yeah, that's
it's kind of like you stay away. It's like you're not writing nothing bad, but you're not writing nothing good, so you're just staying away from the problem.
Yeah.
But you're giving everybody else credit, like a Richard Sherman and those type of guys. You're giving them credit, but those are your brothers, so those are the guys that you went to war with. So it's a little bit different when you're playing versus Richard Sherman every day at practice, going against him every day at practice. You guys become boys. You learn that
because you make each other better.
Offense and defense don't like each other ever. When it comes to college, because you got your defensive guys and you got your offensive guys, so they don't like each other. NFL, same way. But when you're going versus a top-tier DB, which was Richard Sherman when he was in Seattle, top tier.
Which is probably one of the things that made Doug Baldwin so good now that I think about it.
Yeah. So it's like you have one of the best DBs that you're going versus every day at practice, and it's kind of like now he's gone. Now some of the other guys that you was going versus gone. So like it's you and Cam left, and then they got rid of both of you guys. It's kind of like
Yo, Cam Chancellor too.
Yeah.
I found that to be a really odd move by them, is getting rid of Cam Chancellor as well. But like I said, maybe they're just trying to make moves now to have something later on in the future. Maybe, I don't know. But I really I didn't like the Doug Baldwin retiring. I thought that maybe he can get healthy. And you know what I've noticed? I noticed this more from watching. You ever watch the NFL Top 100?
Yes.
All right, so he's usually always on that as a player who is in the top 100, but also one of the players who talks. And he's a very intelligent guy as well.
Yep.
Very, very intelligent, which speaks to also his ability. You could tell that some of his ability comes from his level of intelligence. And I love that. Like, you know, obviously, you're going to have guys of all level of intelligence in the NFL, but, like, you can really tell the guys who are, like, of a high level of intelligence by the way that they play and by the way they carry themselves. And, you know, he carried himself like a true professional. And, you know, I think the NFL loses something by losing a guy like that.
I think he's going to be missed. And, again, we don't know, like I said at the beginning of the show, I don't know which way Seattle's going, right, left, or indifferent, but we're going to see this year. And depending on what the wide receiver core does, depending on what Seattle's record is, depending on a lot of people, Seattle fans will be like, oh, we missed Doug Baldwin. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just got to sit back, put your seatbelt on, wait, see what's going to happen, and then you can make your opinion about it. But right now, I feel as though they're going to miss him a lot. You heard it here first. That Seattle team won't be the same. I think they're going to struggle a lot this year. Hopefully they can keep Russell healthy. That's a big task, but who knows? Who knows what you're going to get out of these younger guys that's coming in? Who knows what you're going to get out of a second-year guy? Yeah. You just don't know, you know?
Yeah, unless DK Metcalf comes in and just shows people that he's capable of more than what he is capable of.
Yep.
I have a hard time seeing Seattle making the playoffs this year. If I'm being honest, I have a hard time seeing them making it into the playoffs, even as a wild card. So I'm going to say it now. My early prediction, Seattle doesn't make the playoffs.
Wasn't they crunching last year? They had to win like their last 2 or 3 games or something like that in order to make the playoffs?
Yeah, it was like pins and needles, you know, threading the needle to make the playoffs. And I think that they're going to fall short this year. I mean, they didn't have Doug Baldwin last year, and that just shows you that. And I don't think DK Metcalf is going to change much in his first year. So unless they make some additions in the wide receiver in the way of veterans, I don't see them making it to the playoffs.
I think with the free agency now, you got some experienced veterans that's free agents, that's veteran wide receivers that you have to go at least get one of them to bring them in to help out. If you don't do that, then I'm with Craig. They won't be a playoff team at all.
Nope. And I don't think it can be like a Des Bryant, because I don't think Des Bryant's going to be full season reliable. I think it has to. My thing is, I think it either has to be Crabtree or Kelvin Benjamin. Those are the two guys. All right, now we're going to move on to the next segment of our show, and this is If You Were the GM.
If you was the GM, what would you do, Craig?
What would you do? So what I would do is, first of all, I'm going to take over the Miami Dolphins. And, you know, it's definitely a rivalry team for the Patriots, but right now they're not much of a rivalry, so we need to bring some competition back to this team. And my first move is to make 2 trades. The first trade is going to be with the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm going after Kyle Rudolph. Why am I going after Kyle Rudolph? Because can you name my tight end? No, you can't, because we don't have a tight end in Miami that's worth even talking about. I think there's some dude whose name is something like Magoo. You know what I'm talking? His name is something like Magoo, and yeah, I'm not really impressed by that guy, so I'm going to go after Kyle Rudolph, make the trade with Minnesota, throw him like a 3rd-round draft pick, and hope that they accept the offer. Then I'm going to go to the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm going to offer them a 5th-round draft pick for the likes of Mohamed Sanu. Oh, yes. What do you think? You don't think they'll take that?
No.
Why not?
You're talking about Sanu.
Sanu. You know, it's Sanu. They got Calvin Ridley. Sanu is not going to be worth more than even maybe a 4th round.
Let's not forget Sanu was the go-to guy before anything. And then when he got there, Julio, he gets double-teamed all the time.
Yeah.
And Sanu gets his joint off. Like,
yeah, but just like you said.
I'm telling you, my Atlanta fans, they get mad at you for Sanu. They
go get mad. But I'm going to say, be mad.
Oh, man, no.
I think that maybe I'm lowballing it, maybe a 4th and a 5th rounder. But I'm going after Sanu, and I'm going to give Atlanta whatever they're going to take from me, as long as it ain't anything higher than a 4th-round pick. I'll give you multiple picks, but I want Mohamed Sanu, and I don't want to pay top dollar for him. Because if we got Mohamed Sanu with Kenny Stills and what's that kid? Why can't I say Wilson? Albert Wilson, the 3 of them together, that will be a dangerous combination.
You would have to trade Sanu for Wilson or Sanu for Skills in order to get Sanu over there.
I'll give him Devontae Parker in a 4th-round pick. I'll give him Devontae Parker in a 4th-round pick. I cannot give
out the blank ain't going for that, boy. You better get familiar.
We'll work
play those games.
We'll work something out with Atlanta. I'll find a way to make it work. But Sanu is coming to Miami.
Remind you, Atlanta just got a new stadium within the last year or 2.
Yes, they did.
They still got to pay that bread. You think they're giving away this guy for? Oh no, not for a 5th rounder.
Maybe. You never know. Mohamed Sanu wasn't much of a factor this past year. Like, he wasn't a huge factor. It was about Calvin Ridley, and it was about Julio Jones. I think that they'd be willing to, for a nice pick, I think maybe multiple picks,
but I would
might
say,
be able to.
Look at, you might want to consider Sanu's numbers, though. Look at his numbers. Yeah. And that will change your whole perspective, because if you look at Julio Jones is a deep threat, but he don't score a lot of touchdowns.
No, he does. He barely scores touchdowns. Yeah.
And who's the ones that score?
Mohamed Sanu scores them touchdowns. That's why I want the boy on my team. I want to bring him to Miami.
Julio's that deep threat that's going vertical down the field, but he just don't finish plays. Yeah. And that's one thing. I love Julio, but I think he gets a lot more credit than he should get, due to the simple fact is he don't finish plays. And as a receiver, you have to finish plays.
I agree with
you. It's all about
100%.
having yak. You know what I'm saying? Yak get you touchdowns. You should be able to take a 1-yard slant, 99 yards to the house as a receiver. Not every play, but some plays you should be able to do that. But there's times where you see Julio get hawked at the 5-yard line. You see him get hawked at the 10, hawked at the 2. He don't finish plays. He don't finish a lot of plays, because if he did finish plays, Julio will be leading in touchdowns every year.
Oh, he should.
But he just don't.
He should be, with his size and his ability.
Think about the 2 running backs over there, right?
Yeah.
How many touchdowns did they get a piece because of Julio don't finish plays?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I feel you. I 100% agree with that
tough.
situation.
It's tough. That's why I said, like, Sanu, he's that guy because he scores. You know what I'm saying? He finishes plays.
I'll give him Devontae Parker, man.
Hey,
I'll give him Devontae Parker, but I'm not giving up Stills. I like Stills, and I think if you have Stills and Mohamed Sanu running up, and then you get Albert Wilson on that cross pattern, I think it's going to spell a lot of danger. So I like.
It definitely will.
I like them.
I like your mindset, what you're saying, but for the Atlanta people. They ain't gonna
go for that. But we're gonna find a way to make it work if I become the GM in Miami. And now, being, I'm gonna always say it, being a Patriots fan, we love that dual tight end set. We love the 2 tight end set. So therefore, I need to come and grab another tight end off free agency. And the guy I really like, I've liked him a lot. I think I've said his name more than once on both my shows, is Lance Kendricks. He's a free agent. Green Bay didn't utilize him correctly. He was good when he was on St. Louis. And I think his resurgent team will be Miami. Kyle Rudolph, Lance Kendricks, opposite each other, that's dangerous. It's not going to be Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, but it can be a dangerous combination of 2 tight end set. Then I think, the one thing Miami is lacking is depth in the backfield. And I want to add a guy who's not going to, it's not going to get you excited, but it's going to say, yeah, that works. And that's the likes of Chris Ivory. I think he still has some gas left in the tank. I still think he could put in some work. I think he was underutilized and improperly utilized in Buffalo. And I think if he goes to Miami behind that offensive line, when Kendrick needs the break, Chris Ivory can come in and do work. So I really like that move right there. And then I'm going to say we need to add maybe one more wide receiver on a prove-it deal. And I'm going to snatch someone up from a previous statement that I made and say, maybe we go ahead and just add another big guy and say, Kelvin Benjamin, come on down. Now, that might be a very deep and very withered wide receiver core because you're going to have a lot of guys who want the ball. But I think the addition of Kelvin Benjamin means that we do get rid of Devontae Parker and say, you know what, you're not getting the job done, and it's time that we put somebody else in this backfield. And then finally, the last 2 additions is going to be on the offensive line, and that's Jeremy Parno and Ryan Schrader, just to add depth in the offensive line. So that's how I make the Miami Dolphins playoff ready.
Boo to you. If I was the GM, my cousin's going to love me today.
Okay.
Every week I send him the episode. He's mad at me because I don't talk enough about the Bears. Well, you got your 10 minutes of fame right now.
Uh-oh. Going to the Bears.
So, if I was the GM of the Bears, you keep Mitchell Trubisky. He's good. He's proven himself as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. You got Chase Daniels backing him up. That's good right there.
Okay, yeah.
Going down the list at running back, you got Tyreek Cohen with, what's his name? Mike Daniels backing him up, and David Montgomery.
Yep.
So, you got them guys there. And then at the receiver position, you got Allen Robinson and Cordell Patterson. I like them too.
Yep.
But then you got the 2 outside, Tyler Gabriel and Riley Ridley.
Yeah, I've seen his name.
I like that guy.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, his brother plays in the league. You know that? He's a Bama boy.
That's Calvin Ridley's brother? Or?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for tight end, they already got Trey Burton. But I would bring in a free agent, Jeremy Grinshaw. I like him. I like just because Trey Burton suffers injuries, so I would bring him in to help out that tight end
just to relieve the pressure.
For the left tackle position, you got Charles Lindsay Jr. He's 6'3", 300 pounds. I like that size, but you're still one of my guys. Another guy that I would bring in is Jeremy Farrell, 6'6", 326. Last 4 years, he started every game.
Okay.
So that can give you a little bit of depth at that tackle position. When you move along to guard, you got Cody Whitaker at guard. He's 6'4", 310. And then I would bring in another guard, which is Jeremy Sullivan, who played on Carolina. In the last 5 years, he played in 125 games out of 153. So that shows you like he can go out there and have longevity out there and help out. And then their center is James Daniels, who's 6'3", 306. And that John Sullivan, he could play either position, the center or the left guard position. And then right guard, you got Kyle Long, 6'6", 316. And then I like the guy from Minnesota, Mike Primus. He's 6'5", 310, And then Since 2003, he played in 64 out of 65 games.
Wow.
So it's like, 2013, I'm sorry, he played in 64 out of 65 games. And another guy so that'd be a lot of good size. So I'm going
a
with
lot of
Jeremy.
good size and a lot of good durability.
Exactly. So I would say Jeremy Farrell, Jeremy Crenshaw, you got John Sullivan, you got Mike Primus. Those are the guys that I would bring in. From a defense point of view, and we're talking about a team who is first in the AFC North, so we can't.
Yeah, you don't want to change it up too much because they got a dynamic defense.
For defense, I got some notable stars like Khalil Mack, Clinton Dix, Prince, my guy Prince.
Mm-hmm. I know.
He's top-notch corner.
Yes, he is.
But I would like them to see. I would like them to activate Devin Bush a little bit more.
Definitely.
Yeah, he played that last year, whereas it was like a learning experience for him. So I think this year he can come in and do something. And then if I was them, because we're talking about a team who was ranked third in the NFL in defense.
Yeah.
They gave up 219 passing yards a game and 80 rushing yards a game. So that shows you that their run-stop defense is great. Their run-stop defense was the best in the league. So to stop that passing for 219 and bring it down, I would go with Maurice Claiborne from New York Jets.
Yes.
Bring him in to play cornerback to help out my guy Prince and to give Devin Bush a little work. I'm not saying that he's going to come in and start or anything like that, but he can come in and help out the system. With them guys there, I think that will make a better defense, and I think that will make them a complete whole team. Cousin, you're going to love me later. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But that's if I was the GM of Chicago, that's what I would do. And I would think that would make them more of a complete team.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Offensive line, you're going to have nothing less than 305 on that offensive line, straight across the board. You already got a skilled wide receiver position. They're lacking right now with depth in the lineman position, and they're lacking with depth at the tight end position because Trey Burton, he's iffy right now with injuries, so you don't know what you're going to get out of him. But their running back, quarterback, and wide receiver positions sold. And defensive-wise, I think they're sold. I was just saying, you bring in someone like Maurice Claiborne just to make it fun, you know.
There you go.
See what happens. But that's if I was the GM of the guys, that's what I would do. But
you see, we got the GM skills that pays the bills and gets teams to the championship. What I would like to know from my fans is, you heard my team and you heard his team. If they played each other in the NFL, what team would win and what would the score be?
The Bears by far.
Woo! I don't know. I got wide receiver and tight end help that's just gonna and I'm playing. This game is gonna be played with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
So Ryan Fitzpatrick's gonna throw for like 5 touchdowns, and he's also gonna throw for like 5 interceptions. But
versus a defense with Khalil Mack out there, he's gonna get sacked 6-7 times.
I feel you, but I added offensive line help. I added offensive line help. And then I also got Kyle Rudolph, and I got Lance Kendrick blocking. Khalil Mack's getting double coverage. He's getting double teamed. And then Mohamed Sanu on one side and Kelvin Benjamin on the other side, darting downfield.
Whatever side that Sanu's on, Prince is on.
Damn it.
Whatever side that the other guy's on, I'm putting Clinton Dix there.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home on Madden, and I'm gonna put these players on these teams, and I'm just gonna do a simulation and find out what happens.
That'd be good.
That would actually be pretty fun. Try to do that. We'll see what happens. Because I want to spend this 5 minutes talking about something that I've been waiting to talk about, and that's the fact that you are not a New England Patriots fan.
Absolutely not.
Why? Who is your team? Tell me your number one team right now.
My number one team in the NFL is nobody. That's what makes me great about this show, is because I can sit here and have an opinion on every team, because once Peyton Manning left the NFL, I left the NFL with Peyton, but I am an NFL fan, so I watch different teams every week. Before I was a betting man, so every week a different team could be my team, so therefore I don't really have an NFL team. So you don't have a favorite team?
No, but why do you not like the Patriots? We are football.
It's not that I don't like the Patriots, because I am from New England. It's just at the end of the day,
that should be like instilled in your DNA, man.
No. Listen. I'm 32 years old.
Yeah.
Me growing up,
yeah,
Patriots was never good.
They weren't.
So when I turned about 15, 16, 17, when I went to college and stuff,
Yeah.
that's when they became good.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon now when I didn't like them when I was growing up.
But that's supposed to be like the hometown thing, not like.
You know you'll be surprised. You know who my hometown team is, who I actually watch and I actually like?
Who?
It's the Bruins. That's my hometown team.
Nice.
That's a team I love.
Okay. And
Basketball. if you
Bruins
wanna
is doing
yeah,
good.
They're doing good. Watch them tonight.
Yes.
Basketball. I love the Lakers. I've always been a diehard fan of the Lakers.
Really?
Kobe
The
Bryant.
Lakers, huh?
Yeah, Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
But when Kobe retired, I didn't retire with the team because I still love the team.
Yeah.
I'm mad we got LeBron, but I'm mad with.
Oh, you're not a LeBron fan.
Not at all. No.
Oh,
I can't stand him.
I can't stand him either. But
I'd rather Lakers ship him off right now.
Oh.
But just growing up,
are
and
you
seeing
like me and you like to talk trash to Rel?
Oh, all the time.
All
you know
the
that.
time.
All the
I love
time.
talking
because
trash to Rel.
It's a love-hate because before I could talk all the junk in the world to him and knowing that guy was on a different team, but now I gotta taper it down now that he's on my squad. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we didn't make the playoffs this year. Yeah, it's your man's fault. My guy, if we have a ball and it's your man's fault. Like so.
It really was though.
Yeah,
If
and
we're
it's
being
different.
honest,
It's
I
different.
think
It's
it was.
different in that aspect of things, but it's kind of like. I'm not saying I hate the Patriots deep down inside because that's not the truth.
Okay.
Like, I love good football. I watch them every Sunday because that's what's on.
Yeah.
So I do sit back and watch the Patriots every Sunday. I examine them, but for me
they're
to
not
sit here
your
and jump
team.
out like, oh yeah, I'm a diehard Patriots fan, I'd be lying to you. Like,
Okay.
that's not the truth. Like, I love the coach when Peyton Manning was there. I loved him when he went to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now let me ask you this though: why like Peyton Manning over Brady?
Because, let's rewind the tape.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning was doing it longer than Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Only a year though.
But still, I grew up
Okay.
as a watching
Yeah.
it with my grandfather and stuff
Yep,
like that.
yep.
It was Peyton Manning that we was watching.
Okay.
From Tennessee, watching Peyton Manning. It wasn't a Tom Brady. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So it's a little different in that aspect of things compared to like me to just be like, oh yeah, I like Tom Brady just because he's great now. Like no,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like,
okay. I feel you.
Yeah.
I guess I can't hate on that.
But I
At
hate
least-
Eli Manning though.
Oh God, everybody should
stand
hate.
him, you know what I mean?
It should be like, unless you're a Giants fan, you should all hate Eli Manning because he looks dumb and he sucks.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, you heard it here first. You know, he doesn't hate the Patriots, but he is not a diehard Patriots fan like your boy, who lives, bleeds, and breathes Patriots Nation my whole life.
Hence why every week we have to talk about them. But
Yeah,
you see me, I just
yeah.
go with the flow.
I make you a solemn promise that in every episode I will find a way to sprinkle some Patriots on it, little Salt Bay of Patriots. So that's all we have this week. But now we have our YouTube channel. It's Gymbag Entertainment. That's one word, GYMBAG Entertainment. You could check out our show, The Endzone. You could check out my show, The Flex, and you could check out the newest addition to our team. Me and Mike are doing a show called Tale of the Tape where we talk about MMA with a focus on UFC. And we'll be doing that show, filming that show tomorrow. We do not have a slot on TV yet, but we will have one soon. But check us out. Like us, share us, view us, tag us, all that stuff. What do you got for them?
Keep it going, baby.
And until next week.
Like, share, subscribe.
Exactly. Like, share, and subscribe. We need it. We love you for it. Please continue to help this show grow. We want to do big things for the city of Lynn, and we want to represent. So until next week, we'll see you in the end zone. Boom.